You're Edmund Bateman.
Who told you?
Your picture in the papers. That's no disguise.
That's why I'm here. He said you could do... What was it he called it? I want you should change my face.
But I'm not a plastic surgeon, Bateman.
He said you could do it.
That is unnecessary, Bateman. Put it away. I can do it. I can change your face.
Then do it.
It isn't plastic surgery, but there is a way.
Anyway, it's all right with me.
First, you must do something for me.
Like what?
It's in your line.
Like what?
Torture and murder.
That's not my line. My line is...
You shot your way out of San Quentin. 2 guards are dead. In a bank in Arizona, a man's face was mutilated, burned. Cashier of the bank.
Well, he tried to get me into trouble. I told him to keep his mouth shut. He gets the gag out of his mouth and starts yelling for the police. I had the acetylene torch in my hand.
So you put the burning torch into his face, into his eyes.
Well, sometimes you can't help things like that.
This job I want done is in your line, Bateman. Accept my word for it. I want you to do this for me. Then I change your face.
I got money. I'll pay for it.
No money.
I don't want to get into no more trouble. They're after me now.
I can take care of that. You can stay here after the job is done.
I'll tell you something, Doc. Ever since I was born, everybody looks at me and says, you're ugly. Makes me feel mean.
Why are you telling me this? I'm not interested in your life story.
I'm saying, Doc, maybe because I look ugly. Maybe if a man looks ugly, he does ugly things.
You are saying something profound. A man with a face so hideously ugly.
Don't ask me to do this job for you, Doc. I don't want to do them things no more. Fix me so I look good, will you? Then maybe I can...
All right, Bateman.
You'll do it, Doc? You'll change me?
Yes.
When?
Now.
What's that?
You don't need that. Give it to me.
No, you don't. I'll keep this. What's that?
I'm taking you where if police or anyone should come, they can't find you.
Oh. I see what you mean.
It is to protect you, Bateman. Come.
You go first.
Of course. I show you the way. The operation is very simple. In 10 minutes, it's done.
Is that all it takes?
The nerves, the nerve ends, Bateman. The 7th cranial nerve, which has its root here. From this come the nerves that control the muscles of the face. If something happens to these nerve ends, it alters your expression. In other words, I, who know what to do with these nerve ends, can make you look any way I choose. Now loosen your collar. Lie down. will not need you until Monday. Thank you, sir. Have a pleasant holiday. Thanks. You're doing fine, babe. I will take a look.
It's hard to talk.
That's to be expected. It will disappear.
Do I look different?
Yes.
Something's the matter. My eye.
That will pass, man.
My mouth. I want to see myself.
All right. Just wait here.
Are you ready to do it for me, Bateman?
Fix my mouth.
You're monstrously ugly. Your monstrous ugliness breeds monstrous hate. Good. I can use your hate. You will do this for me, Bateman.
Fix my mouth.
I'll fix your mouth, Bateman.
Do it. Change me.
I'll change you, Bateman. You will look good. The way you wish.
Make me look good.
First, you must do this job for me, Bateman. I can't use my hand to do it. Your hand is used to torture. Your hand must do it. My brain, your hand. Speak up, Bateman. Do you wish to remain the ugly monster that you are?
No, no.
Then you will do this job for me, will you? You must speak now. Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Wait.
This is a good time of the year to thank all of you at your station for your interest in presenting the Boris Karloff program. It's a real pleasure to work with you all, and I appreciate your cooperation very much indeed. May I also wish you and yours a most Merry Christmas and a prosperous and a happy New Year.
Mystery Playhouse, starring Boris Karloff. The American Broadcasting Company presents another program in its dramatic series in which you hear Boris Karloff transcribed each week in the leading role. Mystery Playhouse is, in a sense, a radio anthology of strange, exciting, and bizarre tales. Tales of a kind the world has enjoyed since time began. Tonight, Boris Karloff will tell us a story of a man and wife who suspect each other of being a criminal. It is called The Night Reveals, and Boris Karloff will play the role of Harry Jordan.
There was something about my wife that distressed me. I don't know exactly what it was. The way she looked at me, the way she didn't look at me. But there was something on her mind. But let me tell it to you from the very beginning. About 2 weeks ago, I came home quite late, about 1 in the morning. You see, I'm an investigator for the Herkheimer Fire Insurance Company, and it often keeps me very busy. My wife, Marie, and my son, Johnny, were both fast asleep. I undressed and went right to bed, dozed off almost at once, and then I was suddenly sitting upright in bed with a strange feeling. I looked over at my wife's bed. It was empty. I went into Johnny's room. She wasn't there, and she wasn't in the house at all. I looked at my watch. It was 1:30, just half an hour since I came home. I dressed quickly and went out and rang the elevator bell. Steve, the night man, was a long time in coming up. I stood there, nervous and worried, not knowing what was going on.
Sorry to be so long, Mr. Jordan.
That's all right, Steve. Afraid my family's keeping you rather busy.
Yes, sir.
How long ago did my wife go down?
About 20 minutes, sir.
Well, just getting a little worried. She went to the drugstore.
Well, the only one open now is the one on 96th Street. I guess that's what's keeping Mrs. Jordan. It's a long walk. Anything wrong, Mr. Jordan?
Oh, no, nothing. She just went to get some aspirin. Of course, that's what it was. She had gone to the drugstore. I was just making a fool of myself. I walked slowly towards 96th Street, and when I reached the corner, I looked down the avenue, but there was no one in sight. I turned and began to walk slowly back to the house when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around. It was Marie. She was as surprised as I was.
Oh, Harry.
I was getting worried about you when I saw you weren't in bed.
Well, I woke with a dreadful headache. There wasn't any aspirin, so I went to the drugstore.
But I just bought a large bottle only a couple of days ago.
You did? I didn't know. Anyway, you shouldn't worry about me, dear. I was only gone about 5 minutes.
5?
That's all it took me.
You were coming from 101st Street. There's no drugstore there.
Oh, you're wrong, dear. I came from the other direction.
Oh, I guess I was mistaken. Where's the aspirin you just bought?
Why, in my bag. Come on, Harry. Let's go back home.
We went home, went right to bed, but I couldn't sleep, and I knew she wasn't sleeping either. I wanted to talk to her, but I didn't know what to say, where to begin.
Harry.
Yes?
Why aren't you asleep?
Oh, I don't know. Just not sleepy. I don't seem to be able to
Harry.
drop off.
There's a fire somewhere. Don't you hear the engines?
Why, they're going north. That's around my district, 115th Street.
Yes. Well, let's see if we can try and get some peace. Good night, dear.
Good night. As soon as I got to my desk the following morning, Mr. Parmenter, the head of my department, sent word for me to come into his office. I put my hat away and went at once.
Oh, hello, Jordan. Close the door and come in, please.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, we had a bad fire in one of our buildings about 1:30 this morning.
Oh, in my district?
Yes, the one on 115th Street.
The tenement house.
Yes.
Anyone hurt?
Fortunately, no. If it weren't for the new fire escapes put in last month, this would have been one of the worst tragedies in the city.
You know how it started?
Well, I was there last night. I think it started in the hallway. I'm not sure.
Arson?
And I don't know. I'd like you to take a look. The building was heavily insured. Our company is in deep.
I'm ready to go right now, Mr. Parmenter.
Good. You'll get your hat and we'll leave at once.
We stood before the building and looked at the charred form of the tenement. It was hard to believe that it was still standing. It seemed as if one good wind would bring the entire structure crashing down.
There she is. A Lulu, isn't she?
Yes. The fire drift marks show that the flames worked themselves up from the ground floor. Stairways acted like a bellows. I would say that in less than 15 minutes, the whole building was aflame from cellar to roof.
That sure was.
I know how these things can burn. Must have been a sheet of fire. Must have been something to look at.
I don't remember seeing a building burn so fast.
I'll go inside and see what I can find.
No, now, maybe you'd better not. Fire department has it all roped off. It's too dangerous.
Oh, that's my job. Maybe I can discover something.
Now, look here, Jordan. It's not part of your job to get yourself killed.
Oh, I can take care of myself. I'll be back in a few minutes. I held my breath. My heart hammered away at my ribs as I walked carefully into what was once a hallway. The ashes and charred wood underfoot was still warm. I touched nothing, for the hallway walls could collapse at a touch. It was hard to believe that this black hole in which I stood was once a hallway where people came and went. I reached the spot where the stairway once had been. Just a blackened metal railing came down from where the first floor had been. There'd been baby carriages here. The fire had contorted the frames so that they were just masses of fused metal.
Jordan. Jordan.
I'm all right, Mr. Parmenter.
Don't be a fool, Jordan.
I'll be out in a minute. Poked around with my foot in the ashes and charred wood, but found nothing. And as I turned to go, something caught my eye. It was yellow and had a bright gleam. A piece of yellow metal that fused with a piece of twisted metal bar that had once been part of a baby carriage. Pried it loose with my penknife, put it in my pocket, and then went back.
She's burnt hollow, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a complete loss. This building will just have to be torn down.
Learn anything?
Started in the hallway under the stairs. I found a piece of yellow metal that doesn't belong on the frame of a baby carriage.
Oh? Let's see it. Oh, I don't think it's anything. It's part of a baby carriage.
Guess I'll take it home to my kid. He likes shiny, bright things.
Any possibility of arson?
I don't know. Of course, it's always possible. On my way home, I fingered the yellow, shiny piece of metal. Ran my fingernail across it, and it left a mark. So it wasn't steel. I knew what it was. Gold. But I also knew that there are no gold gadgets on baby carriages.
Is anything the matter?
No, why do you ask?
Oh, your clothes, they're all full of ashes.
Well, I got myself filthy looking over that building on 115th Street.
Daddy.
Hello, Johnny. How was my boy today?
Mommy bought me a new boat. Did you buy me candy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get some for you later.
Well, you said you would.
I've got some candy for you, Johnny.
I want Daddy to bring me some.
Oh, Marie,
Yes, dear?
where's your locket? You're not wearing it.
No. No, Mr. Elias, the jeweler, has it. He's fixing it. As a matter of fact, you brought it to him, dear.
I don't remember.
Oh, you never do. You're really terribly absent-minded, Harry.
Daddy, can you bring me the nugget candy you brought me yesterday?
Sure I can. I'll bring it tomorrow when I come home from work. You know, it's funny, Marie. I really can't remember anything about the locket or going to the jeweler's.
Well, then, if you didn't take it down to old Mr. Elias, it must still be in your suit.
Which suit?
Well, I don't know what suit. Why don't you look through all your clothes?
I'll do that right now. It was 18-karat gold and cost me a lot of money.
Yes, I know, Harry. I'd be miserable if you lost it. Oh, I have a splitting headache.
Maybe you'd better see a doctor.
No, dear, I'll be all right.
Daddy, can I have a penny? 2 pennies?
Here's a nickel, Johnny.
No, I want a penny.
I haven't got a penny. You'll have to take the nickel. I'm going to my room, Marie, and see if I can find that locket. I went to my room and locked the door. Then I took out the piece of yellow metal, studied it. It might have been round before the fire had distorted it. I examined it closely under the light. It seemed to have a seam of sorts. Took out the penknife, tried to insert it at the seam, but it wouldn't give. Then I forced the blade into a small crack. I tried to force it open, but it wouldn't give. I kept trying, and suddenly it gave and came apart. The inside of it was filled with tiny particles of shattered glass, and then I saw that it contained a scorched photograph. It was a picture of my son. This glob of yellow metal was my wife's locket.
Daddy, tell me a story before I go to sleep.
I just told you a story. Now go to bed, son.
No, stay with me just a little while.
Now, Johnny, you know our rule. I'll give you just one hug, and that's all.
No, 2 hugs.
All right. Now, good night. Sleep well.
You too, Daddy.
Harry,
Oh, Marie, you startled me.
I thought I heard Johnny cry.
Just put him to bed. Go into the living room. I'd like to talk to you. When we got into the living room, I took out my pipe and lit it. Although I didn't look at her, I knew that she was watching me closely. And when I suddenly turned round and faced her squarely, I saw the anguish in her darting, bird-like eyes. If there's something troubling you, Marie, I wish you'd tell me.
There's nothing troubling me.
If you're not feeling well, maybe you should see a doctor.
No, dear, I'm feeling fine. It's just one of those headaches. It's going away. Harry, I read about the fire on 115th Street in this afternoon's paper. Well, was it as bad as they said?
Completely burned out, except for the brick walls. Burned like dry newspapers. It's one of those buildings in which the stairway is in the middle of the house, and if the fire is started right at the bottom of the stairs, it becomes a natural bellows. Whoever started that fire understood the character of fires pretty well. She watched me with eyes now still, bright and tense. She listened to me with her whole body, leaned towards me as I spoke of the fire, her fingers stiff and still upon the table. Marie, there's another building just like that, just round the corner. The red brick building with the turreted roof. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes. It's an old one. It's got the name Compton engraved near the roof.
That's right, the Compton building. If a fire ever got started there, it wouldn't take more than 10 minutes before the whole place would be a roaring furnace. Oh, my pipe's gone out. Hand me the lighter, Marie.
I'll light it for you, dear.
Thanks. I'd rather light it myself.
Oh, let me.
No fluid in it. Oh. What's happened to the matches in this drawer? I always keep it filled.
I have a match.
Did you take the matches out of the drawer?
I needed them for the gas range.
All of them? There was a whole carton of matches.
I just took the carton.
Give me the rest of the matches.
Here,
Let me. No, I'll light it myself. The matchbook was crumpled as if it had been held tightly. I had to strike the match on the cover several times before it took flame with a tiny, explosive sound. It sputtered and hissed a little as it slowly crawled down the matchstick. The cone-shaped flame, bright yellow on top and blue at the base, grew larger as it fed on the matchstick. Marie stared at the flame. She stared at it with her mouth slightly open, staring at it as if it were alive and beautiful. I held the flame to my pipe. The living flame darted into the bowl, enkindling the tobacco. Marie watched, and a quiver went through her. I put the match in the tray, and soon it curled up and died in a last tiny puff of smoke. Your purse, Marie. May I have it?
My purse? Why do you want my...
It's full of matches.
Matches? Why should it be full of matches?
Because you put them there.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Let me have your purse. I'll show you. Here we are, crowded with matchbooks, safety matches, and 2 of my lighters.
Oh, please don't take them, Harry.
And here are several newspaper clippings of fires. Fire on 115th Street, a total loss. Police suspect arson and destructive fire on 3rd Avenue. And this clipping. Pyromaniac confesses how he started fire in warehouse without actual use of flame. He placed cotton waste, soaked in oil, underneath a pile of rags behind a stairway in a badly ventilated place. The cotton waste grew warmer and warmer until it burst into flame long after he was gone. Although we didn't get as much satisfaction as actually using a match, it was by far the safest way. Why are you saving all these clippings?
I was going to give it to you. It might be of use to you in your fire investigation work.
Yes. Yes, it would be very helpful.
Harry, where are you going?
Just going down to get a paper.
Oh, it's very late, dear. Let's go to bed.
I'm just going for a paper. I want to think over what is the best thing for us to do.
Oh, Harry.
Look, darling, go to bed. We'll talk about it tomorrow. When I returned, she was still up, busying herself with chores around the house, but I was tired and went to bed. I couldn't sleep and waited for Marie to come in. Finally, she did come in, but she was still dressed. She brought me a hot cup of cocoa.
I brought you some cocoa, Harry.
I don't want any.
It'll make you fall asleep.
Oh, I'll get by without it.
Please, Harry, you need the sleep.
All right. Leave it on the table.
It doesn't taste very good when it's cold.
I'll drink it right away.
Good night, darling.
Aren't you coming to bed?
As soon as I finish sorting out Johnny's clothes. Sleep well.
I didn't drink the cocoa because I was sure it had other ingredients in it besides the sugar and cream. I got out of bed, found an empty bottle on the dresser, poured the cocoa into it, and hid it under the bed. And I lay down again and waited. It must have been 20 minutes later when I heard the door open softly.
Harry. Harry.
I didn't answer or stir. She looked at me, looked at the empty cup, and then walked out as softly as she had come in. Quickly dressed, but not quickly enough, for I heard the outer door close, put the bottle of cocoa in my pocket, and hurried out and rang the elevator bell.
Hello, Mr. Jordan.
Hello, Steve.
Your wife just went down a few minutes ago.
I know.
She walked towards 3rd
I
Avenue.
know that, too. Take me down, please. I knew where she'd gone. The Compton building round the corner. I walked rapidly up to 3rd Avenue and then turned the corner. I half ran the short block and turned again and hurried to where the ugly red brick Compton building stood with its turreted roof. The street was deserted. The bright, harsh light of the street lamps made the street even more lonely. I walked up to the building and peered in. Far down the hallway where the stairway began, a figure crouched near the floor. I knew very well who it was. I walked down the hallway.
Who is it?
It's me.
Harry!
Come on, Marie. Let's get out of here.
I was only trying
I
to...
know what you're trying to do. Let's go home.
No,
Come
dear,
on, Marie. Please, please don't protest anymore. We didn't say a word until we got into the house. She was as pale as chalk, and she looked so weary that I felt sorry for her. I was beginning to feel the strain myself. I closed my eyes for a moment, and I could see the burning matchstick with its yellow and blue flame. Marie had slumped down in a chair and was staring moodily at the floor. I took the bottle of cocoa out of my pocket and put it on the table. Marie, I didn't drink the cocoa. What did you put in it? You might as well tell me before I have it analyzed.
I ground a sleeping pill into powder. I had to do it. Harry, let's go to bed. I'm so tired I can't even talk.
Let's get rid of all the matches. We'll burn them all. We can get a new start. I know we can.
It's no good, Harry. It won't work.
Of course it'll work, Marie, darling. We just must try.
It's no use. Too late.
It's never too late. I'm going to burn up every match in the house.
Oh, no, Harry. I don't want you to do that.
That's the best way to
Oh,
start.
please, Harry, don't. Oh.
See? We've burned them all. We'll burn them all in the tray. Give me the rest of them.
No, Harry. I won't give them to you. I won't. I won't.
In the large, heavy glass ashtray on the table, the book of matches was burning quietly. Just one corner of the book was aflame, and from the other corner, a wisp of white smoke rose straight into the air, breaking near the ceiling. I thought the book would burn itself up, but suddenly the fire went out, leaving half of it unburned. I stared at the charred book and then at Marie, who had watched the flame with fascination. Let me have the rest of the matches.
No, Harry.
Give them to me at once.
Please, please, Harry, let's go to bed. Oh.
I slapped her, and then I reached for her purse. She wouldn't let go of it and fought to hold it. I tried to twist it out of her grasp. She wrenched it out of my hand and ran towards the door. I caught her, but she fought back with the ferocity of a tigress. She clawed at me, scratching at my face. I fell back at the table. She came after me. I took a heavy glass ashtray with both hands and hurled it at my head. I remember the sharp, crushing pain and then nothing. When I came to, I was alone. There was a heavy, pulsating pain in my head. At first, I couldn't remember where I was or what had happened. Slowly, it all came back. I felt my head sticky with blood, went to the bathroom, washed it, and suddenly it came to me. Johnny. Where was my boy, Johnny? I ran into his room, but he wasn't there. He wasn't in his bed. She had taken him and run away. I became panicky. Where would she run? There was only one place she could go. Her sister Martha. I had to follow her there. I didn't wait for the elevator, but ran down all the 6 flights. Her sister lived in a 4-flight walk-up, an old but remodeled building. I stood in the hallway and looked up the stairs. I knew this kind of building. If they ever caught fire, they just wrote them off the book.
Please go away, Harry.
Let me in just for a moment.
What are you going to accomplish?
We must talk about it. Where's Johnny?
He's here.
I want to see him.
Here I am, Daddy. Here I am.
Johnny. Where's your aunt?
She went down to get some milk for Johnny.
This hour?
There's an all-night delicatessen down the street. What's that?
I don't know.
Must be some of the neighbors.
Something must have happened.
Smoke! There's smoke in the hallway. It's coming up from downstairs.
The house is afire.
We can't go down the stairs. The smoke's too thick.
The roof's our only chance. Come on, let's go.
Daddy!
Don't be afraid, Johnny. The fire won't hurt you at all. We were on the roof, and I could see the flames pouring out of the windows below. One side of our building was an empty parking lot, and the other an apartment house. There was a 15-foot space between us and the wall. The roof of the apartment house was 2 stories higher. Firemen on the roof getting ready to throw a rope down to it.
Now take it easy. We'll get you all off.
Now, Johnny, get hold of the rope, and they'll pull you up just like a game.
I won't go alone. I want you to go with me.
Johnny, you're a big boy.
Tie the rope around his middle. That's it. Now, Sonny, look up at me and we'll take you right up just like an elevator.
No! No!
Marie, you'd better go first.
No, Johnny goes. You must go, Johnny. I'll come right up after you.
A few minutes later, we were all safe on the ground, watching the great fire, now a mass of flames eating the building up before our eyes. Policemen came over to us.
Are you folks all right?
Yes. But my husband, this man,
What's the matter with him? Is he hurt?
yes, he's badly hurt. He's a pyromaniac. He set fire to this house. He set fire to many houses. I can't keep quiet any longer. I can't. I can't.
Poor Marie. She just doesn't understand. She doesn't understand fires at all. Look how the cheerful flames play and laugh in the wind. Why, fire is joy. It's alive. Everybody knows that. Fire is the cleanest thing of all. It cleans everything it touches, germs, filth, and sin, and everything that's ugly. Fire is life. It breathes life into dead wood, dead things. Well, it mustn't put the fire out. It hates water. It wants to live just like all of us. Please tell them to stop. Oh, they're choking her to death, my lovely, pure fire. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Mystery Playhouse, starring Boris Karloff. You have heard The Night Reveals, another program in ABC's dramatic series, which has brought Boris Karloff to you each week transcribed in the leading role. The program was directed by Clark Andrews. The orchestra was conducted by Bernard Green. Heard tonight were Alice Frost as Marie and Arthur Vinton as Parmenter. The script adaptation was by Sigmund Miller from a short story by William Irish. Gene Kirby speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
This is a good time of the year to thank all of you at your station for your interest in presenting the Boris Karloff program. It's a real pleasure to work with you all, and I appreciate your cooperation very much indeed. May I also wish you and yours a most Merry Christmas and a prosperous and a happy New Year. This is Boris Karloff speaking. I'm here with a story for you from the files of the Reader's Digest. Who killed Chung Ling Soo? The coroner's verdict was death by misadventure, but the fate of magician Chung Ling Soo was almost certainly no accident. The strange story begins in New York 60 years ago. A certain William Ellsworth Robinson, a magician by profession, was broke. Far less skillful men than he were getting all the jobs, and Robinson decided to try a desperate gamble. And so in May 1900, a glittering-eyed man with a queue and flowing oriental raiment registered at a fashionable hotel in London. And with him there travelled a diminutive, slant-eyed maiden. They called themselves the illustrious Chu Ling Soo and his assistant Susie Scene. But back home in America, they'd just been plain Bill and Dottie Robinson. After just one performance at the famed Alhambra, Chung Ling Soo's success was assured. Things went fine for a time. Then into the pretender's paradise came temptation. Her name was Estelle. He was sure that his romance was a secret, until one night he found an anonymous note on his dressing room table. Be careful. Don't forget that in your bullet-catching trick, your wife loads the guns. Surely Dottie didn't suspect, or did she? It wore on his nerves. So he decided on a divorce. He'd marry Estelle and end this worrying. And then, unbelieving, he heard his beloved say, "Oh, no, Chung, I could never marry anyone but an American. But I am an American, I'll prove it." Next day, dressed in Western clothes, he called on Estelle. She stared at him shocked. What she saw was an undistinguished man, halting and ordinary in speech. Where was the strange, alluring figure from the East? Miserably, Chung Ling Soo confided in a friend. "It's like having two men in one body," he said. "One wants a woman that he can't have, and the other has a woman that he's afraid of." His friend was worried. "I wish you wouldn't do the bullet-catching trick tonight," he said. "Well, this is the last time I'll ever do it," promised Chung Ling Soo, and went out onto the stage. The trick began as always. 4 spectators were coaxed up onto the stage. Other audience members were asked to examine the bullets. Then Dottie Robinson loading the bullets into guns. Then music, Chung giving the sign, fire. The curtain fell, and behind it, Robinson lay dead in the arms of the innocent Susie Scene. Houdini made a public statement explaining the gun trick. Normally, the bullets never left the guns. The performer carried duplicates in his mouth, but this time the trick mechanism in the guns must have failed to work. But Chung's friend knew that there had been no accident, knew that Chung Ling Soo had been slain on that stage by his envious other self, the killer and the victim falling together in one body. The sad but true story of the wizard Chung Ling Soo is from the Reader's Digest back files, but it bears a resemblance to an article in the current December issue of the magazine, also about some wizardry. In this case, the subject matter is more cheerful, for the wizardry involves some fabulous automatic devices which will do anything from steering an airplane to keeping the snakes in the zoo happy. The name of the article is "They're Wizards on Control," and I found it most interesting. I'll be joining you soon again with more transcribed stories, but until next time, this is Boris Karloff saying goodbye. This is Boris Karloff speaking. I'm here with a story for you from the files of the Reader's Digest. This is the story of William Shakespeare's hometown. From October to April, Life in this ancient market town of Stratford-on-Avon flows as gently as the river itself. But comes the spring, and business booms. Long lines of pilgrims pay their shillings to see the house where Shakespeare was born, his mother's girlhood cottage, the property he bought when he returned as the local ne'er-do-well who had made good. Stratford-on-Avon is now, second only to London, the chief dollar-making tourist haunt in Britain. But it took Stratford 250 years to wake up to its Shakespearean opportunities. In his day, Shakespeare's fellow citizens regarded him as a rather dubious blessing. To them, the theatre was a den of vice. For almost a century and a half, the only outsiders interested in Stratford were occasional scholars. And it wasn't until 1769 that a local landlord was able to rally his townsmen to a public celebration of Shakespeare's anniversary. That year, the great David Garrick came from London to organize a festival with cannon salvos, public breakfasts, and fireworks. There was everything except a Shakespearean performance. For 100 years, this kind of celebration prevailed. Local businessmen made a little bit of pocket money out of the visitors, but the town seemed destined to remain a big, dull village. It was saved from this fate by a bearded giant of a brewer named Charles Edward Flower. It started when, back in 1870, the local folk wanted to erect a monument to Shakespeare. Said Flower, "Shakespeare means plays, good ones. The monument we want is a theatre where people can come and see those plays." Flower scoured England to raise money for a theatre, but the London press and the bigwigs snubbed him. They called Stratford dull, forsaken, and said that its citizens were nobodies. Flower roared back, "We've waited nearly 300 years for the somebodies to do something. Now we'll show what the nobodies can do." He built a theatre with his own money, and Stratford was on its way. Other local citizens went to work to remake their once sleepy community, and they stripped from their homes, shops, and inns the ugly plaster fronts added in later centuries to reveal the fine timbered facades that lined the streets when Shakespeare lived. Fireplaces, cupboards, panels, beams, all the handsome Elizabethan details have been restored. And now the entire town is a living monument to William Shakespeare, shared by the plain folk of Stratford with the people of the whole world. I found the story of Stratford-on-Avon in the Reader's Digest back files, but in the current December issue of the magazine, there's the story of another small city with a big list of visitors. The city of this story is in France. The attraction, not a man, but a cathedral. The cathedral was built many centuries ago by the whole town. Men and women pitted the slight strength of their bodies against the heartless weight of stone to bring heavy limestone blocks from the quarries 7 miles away into the town. Stone by stone, year by year, the church rose. The style in which it grew was new then, the soaring style of the pointed arch and the flying buttress which today we call Gothic, and the town, Chartres. The whole story of the miracle of Chartres, the building of the Christmas story in stone, appears in the December issue of the Reader's Digest. I'll be joining you soon again with more transcribed stories, but until next time, this is Boris Karloff saying goodbye. This is Boris Karloff speaking. I'm here with a story for you from the files of the Reader's Digest. This is the story of the most versatile of all living substances. It has held man in his cradle. It warmed his hearth. It will make him his last long home. This is the story of wood. When living, a tree sweetens the air where it breathes. It lays the dust and tempers the wind, and when it is felled, sawn, and seasoned, it lays bare the hidden beauty of its heart in figures and grains more lovely than the most premeditated design. Touch any object made of wood, the tabletop of bright maple, the chopping bowl of cleanly birch, a paddle wall of knotty pine, the lean strength of an ash rake handle, or a tobacco pipe of briar. Pass your fingers over this wood, then press your full palm upon its firmness. Compared with metal or clay or stone, it still seems warm, still living out its useful days. Wood has gone into the very fibre of our nation. With 1,000 and more native species of trees, the United States started out with the greatest forest heritage that ever fell to the lot of a lucky people. Our first exports back to England from the Jamestown colony were from the forest. Mighty pines for masts, pitch, turpentine, black walnut. When British shot fell back harmless from the live oak sides of the frigate Constitution, then she got her name Old Ironsides. And when the backwoods boys fought beside Robert E. Lee and their homespuns died with butternut, they were known as butternuts. The cabin where Lincoln was born was made of the logs of that grand old tree, the American white oak, and the rails that he split were black walnut. Wood fired the racing steamboats on the Mississippi and fed the first railroads. We spanned the treeless plains on ties cut from eastern forests. On rims of hickory and spokes of oak, pioneers rolled west to the Pacific, and there new woods came to hand. Redwoods and Douglas fir 300 feet high, timbers such as man had never seen before. Form and plan are in the very structure of wood from the moment that it begins to grow. It can overcome obstacles, split rocks apart, and travel far in search of water. It can adjust to circumstances. It can endure with an immortality all its own. Wooden piles under the streets of Venice have been found intact after 1,000 years, and white cedar in the swamps of eastern Virginia has lain buried an estimated 3,000 years, yet is now being dug up today and sawed into boards that may last another 1,000. Say, if you like, that wood has no thoughts and no tongue to speak them, but let him who says this look into his own heart and produce for us a thought that will warm the hearth of a friend or endure 1,000 years. I found the story of trees in a back issue of the Reader's Digest, and there's an article in the current December issue describing a very pleasant way of looking at them, 3,184 miles of them to be exact, all across the American continent. Thousands of people contribute to this journey. An army of maintenance crews, signalmen, dispatchers, electricians, butchers, pastry cooks. For this particular tree-watching device is a veritable super hotel on wheels. It is, of course, a streamlined train. There's a whole article about the Century and the Super Chief, both top streamliners, in the December Reader's Digest, and it's a fascinating one. I'll be joining you soon for more transcribed stories from the Reader's Digest, past and present. But until then, this is Boris Karloff saying goodbye. This is Boris Karloff speaking. I'm here with a story for you from the files of the Reader's Digest. The man on the operating table was suffering from a tumor on the brain. Swiftly, the surgeon and newly graduated intern went to work. A few hours later, the patient died. It came as a surprise to no one, for the year was 1895, and in those days, 9 out of 10 patients failed to survive brain surgery. 25 years later, the young intern had reversed the odds. 9 out of 10 patients survived brain operations. His name? Dr. Harvey Cushing. As an undergraduate at Yale, he was a good but uninspired student. But in medical school, in surgery, he found his true vocation, and yet, because of an experience in medical school, Cushing almost gave up medicine. It was regular practice for second-year students to administer ether, and Cushing had served in that capacity only a few times when one of his patients died in the middle of an operation. He blamed himself and decided to give up being a doctor. Only the arguments of friends finally made him change his mind. When Cushing hung up his shingle in Baltimore, his salary as staff physician at a hospital was just $350 a year. Hoping to augment it, the 32-year-old surgeon requested that all cases at Johns Hopkins in which brain surgery was indicated be referred to him. It was only a trickle at first, for doctors almost universally regarded a brain operation as a sentence of death. But as Cushing's brain tumor mortality rate kept dropping, more and more cases came to him, and almost single-handed he had created a new surgical specialty. After America's entry into World War I, Dr. Cushing was commissioned a major and took a surgical team overseas. At home, he had considered a single brain operation a full day's work, but at the front, he tackled as many as 8 a day, operating by candlelight when air alerts had shut off the power. In August 1918, at Chateau Thierry, Cushing came down with an obscure infection of the nervous system. After the armistice, he returned to this country, and slowly, painfully, his fingers regained their skill. He was never able to walk easily again. But Dr. Cushing was as busy as ever. His surgical technique was still advancing, though sometimes he operated sitting down. In a lifetime of brilliant accomplishment, Harvey Cushing was showered with international honors. But he was first of all the friend of sick people in their time of trouble. He could command astronomical fees from the wealthy, but a patient of limited means might find, enclosed with Dr. Cushing's modest bill, a note. I don't want you to feel bound to pay this account unless you can really manage to do so. But if you can pay it or can pay part of it in due course, I'll be obliged to you. I found the story of Dr. Harvey Cushing in the back files of the Reader's Digest, but in the current December issue of the magazine, there's the story of another immortal man of medicine, Hideo Noguchi, disease detective extraordinary. Now, if Sherlock Holmes had been lured into a fatal trap by a suspect in his greatest case, his end would have been comparable to the martyrdom of the Rockefeller Institute's incomparable disease detective. For Noguchi died of yellow fever in West Africa, the victim of a murderous microorganism that he had tracked halfway round the world himself. The whole story is in the December issue of the Reader's Digest. I'll be joining you soon again with more transcribed stories, but until then, this is Boris Karloff saying goodbye. This is Boris Karloff speaking. I'm here with a story for you from the files of the Reader's Digest. This is the story of a house. 14 brides have been married in it. 2 silver weddings have been celebrated there. 20 babies were born in the upstairs rooms. The address? Well, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. For more than 150 years, it has been the seat not only of this country's executive power, but of an ideal of American family life. When it was built, a coat of white paint was laid over the gray Virginia sandstone of its walls, and from that day, the people of the nation have called it the White House. The plan for the White House was drawn by Captain James Hoban, an Irishman by birth and a resident of Charleston, South Carolina, who won a $500 prize offered by Congress for the best design, and time has proved it to be a noble one. 14 decades of whimsical fashion have passed through the interior, affecting furniture and draperies, but the house itself, though the oldest public building in Washington, has never gone out of style. The cornerstone was laid on October the 13th, 1792. George Washington, though, didn't live to occupy the house. Labor troubles, congressional slowness, and national poverty combined to delay the work, so that it was still not finished when in 1800 the Adamses threw open its doors at its first reception. Only 14 years later, this fine new first house of the nation was burned during the War of 1812. Fortunately, Mr. Hoban was still alive to guide the reconstruction after the war, and by the time the fashionable Munros entered it, a finer White House opened its doors. From then on, it has gone through much the same evolution as other old American homes. First, it was lit by candlelight, till Fillmore's day in 1851, when gas came in. Then, during the administration of Benjamin Harrison, the new sparkle of electricity. There have almost always been children in the White House. Tyler used to play forfeits with them in the Red Room. Jackson never tired of giving parties to the friends of his 7 grandchildren, and young Willie Lincoln drove his pet goats through the front door. Gaiety and sadness. In the white and gold East Room of the White House have lain in state the bodies of Presidents William Henry Harrison, Taylor, and Harding, who sickened and died in office, and of Lincoln, Garfield, and McKinley, victims of assassination. And at such times the whole room has been draped in black, even to the chandeliers. There's been much debate on the subject of, is the White House haunted by all these voices from the past? In the daytime one isn't likely to think so, but late at night sometimes there does seem to be a feeling of the presence of other lives, and the American people feel the presence in the White House of those lives. So many of them faithful and strong, some few immortally great. We all say amen to the prayer written for that house by its first occupant, James Adams. Heaven bestow the best of blessings on this house, and on all that shall hereafter inhabit it. The story of the White House, which I found in the Reader's Digest back files, is, in a way, the story of life in these United States through the years since its beginning as a nation. But for a more contemporary view of life in these United States, you might refer to the current issue of the magazine, with a whole department of amusing, revealing anecdotes illustrating life in the United States today. I'll be sharing more of the stories with you, transcribed in the near future. But until next time, this is Boris Karloff saying goodbye.